And the world says, bad timing. But heaven might just be whispering, merciful interception. Listen to me. You didn't miss your moment. Your moment missed you on purpose because I put my hand on the clock. You called it a stall, a setback, a silence that made you feel small. I called it a shield you didn't know you needed. The delay you despised was me standing in the hallway of your life, palm against your chest, saying, not that door, not like this, not at that speed. And maybe that's you. You did everything right and it still didn't move. You prayed, you prepared, you showed up, you sent the email, you wore the courage, you took the interview, you said yes, and the answer back was nothing. A closed calendar, a missed call, a plan that unraveled in your hands like thin thread. You thought, God, why would you let me get so close just to hold me back? Let me tell you something, he told me. It wasn't delay, it was deliverance. Not because I am cruel, but because I am careful with you. Not because I am punishing you, but because I am protecting the very peace I paid for. You weren't minutes away. You were seconds away from the wrong door. The knob gleamed like provision, but it was greased with poison. It looked like security. It smelled like validation. It sounded like, finally. But behind it was a fine print your emotions wouldn't have read. Costs charged to your identity, taxes on your sleep, compromises drafted against your calling. The enemy loves a door that looks right and lives wrong. He loves a platform that asks you to edit your voice, a relationship that applauds you while negotiating away your boundaries, an offer that funds your future but forecloses your soul. I slowed you because that handle would have branded you. I intercepted you because that threshold would have stolen your oil. And the world says, when opportunity knocks, sprint. But heaven says, when my spirit checks your pace, be still. Time isn't your tyrant, it's my tool. I am not late, I am layered. I hide you to heal you. I stall you to save you. You think I am withholding, I am preserving. You are not forgotten, you are fortified. You are not stuck, you are stationed. It wasn't rejection. It was redirection into the lane where your peace keeps up with your progress. Chosen one, hear me. I am not afraid of your timeline. I built you for mine. In this episode, I will show you what I blocked and why the block was love. I will show you what I preserved while you thought the clock was cruel. Your oil, your peace, your name. And I will teach you what to do while time feels unfair so you don't sprint back to the wrong hallway. Waiting isn't doing nothing. Waiting is weaponry. Waiting is how you stay unmanipulated by pretty lies. So steady your breath. Unclench your fists. Stop cursing the clock and start trusting the covering. Chosen one, you were seconds from the wrong door and I turned the handle the other way. That wasn't loss. That was me saving your future in slow motion. Listen to me. Waiting talks, and it talks in two tongues. One voice is panic, the other is providence. And the world says, you're falling behind. But heaven whispers, you're being fenced in. Panic counts other people's timelines like a scoreboard and tells you, hurry is holy. Providence counts the hairs on your head and tells you, holiness has a pace. Panic hisses, you'll miss it if you don't move now. Providence answers, you'll miss me if you move without instruction. Your anxiety interprets time as punishment, but I use time as protection. I am not bullying you with the clock, I am building you with it. Panic manufactures almost doors. It forges them out of pressure and paints them in the color of urgency. It says, say yes before they change their mind. Take it before it disappears. Settle because something is better than nothing. And maybe that's been your inner dialogue. Scrolling, comparing, bargaining with fear, mistaking momentum for wisdom, mistaking noise for confirmation. You felt the ache of being next, but not yet, and panic tried to baptize you in scarcity. Listen to me. Scarcity is not your shepherd, I am. Providence sounds different. Providence fences you in, not to trap you, but to train you. I set hedges like holy guardrails so you don't drive off a cliff just because the lane looks open. I pace you because predators pace too. The wrong door isn't a cartoon villain with fangs. It's a smiling threshold, good on the outside, misaligned on the inside. It is opportunity without instruction, access without assignment, applause without anointing. It offers you a platform but requires you to edit your voice. It gives you connection while negotiating away conviction. It looks like favor and lives like a snare. I see what you can't see. I see the motives behind the smiles, the meetings you were never invited to, the fine print your hunger won't read, the spiritual traps camouflaged as shortcuts. I see how a quick yes could tax your sleep, rebrand your name, dilute your oil, and mortgage your peace. I weigh seasons. I test atmospheres. I time exposure so your character can carry your crown without crushing your chest. You want open doors, I want aligned doors. You want fast, I want fortified. So hear this cadence and let it settle in your bones. Not every open door is God. Not every fast door is favor. Not every yes is safe. Not every delay is denial. Sometimes slow is sanctuary. Sometimes closed is covering. When panic says, rush, ask for my instruction. When urgency screams now, check for peace. If you have to betray who I am, making you to cross a threshold, that is not your doorway, it's a detour. And if I fence you in, it's because wolves prowl. I am not starving you, I am storing you. I am not late, I am loyal. Stay with my pace. Providence is speaking in your waiting, and if you listen, the clock will sound like a shield. Let me pull back the curtain you were never meant to pull by yourself. You saw a shiny knob and a straight hallway. I saw a ledger in the dark with your peace listed as payment due. The yes you were rehearsing came with a hidden invoice, charges to your purity, withdrawals from your purpose, liens against your identity. And the world says, if it opens, it's yours. But heaven is whispering, if it asks you to trade who you are becoming to get what you want, it's not a door, it's a deal with a deficit. Smiles that would have turned into slander. Contracts that would have turned into control. Compliments that would have turned into cages. You think I slowed you because I am strict. I slowed you because I saw the snare flexing behind the silk. It looked like relief, but it would have leased your name to people who only loved your results. It sounded like, we believe in you, but the fine print spelled, as long as you behave like us. It promised exposure and would have demanded your silence. I heard the rehearsal lines they planned for you. I read the scripts that cut your convictions down to one-liners. I am not cruel for stalling. I am kind for intercepting. Here is the triad. Hell loves to sell. Validation disguised as love. Access disguised as assignment. Urgency disguised as instruction. Validation will stroke your insecurity and call it intimacy. Access will swing open and insist you owe it loyalty. Urgency will scream like a prophet and rush you past discernment. Listen to me. Some doors are not destinations. They are bait. The enemy can't steal what I've sealed, so he tries to make you swap it at speed. He rushes you so you don't ask me. He flatters you so you don't test spirits. He stacks the calendar so you mistake chaos for calling. So I put my hand on your pace. I let the email get lost. I let the meeting reschedule. I let the chemistry cool, not because I wanted you humiliated, but because I wanted you holy and unharmed. I would rather bruise your timeline than break your essence. I would rather disappoint your hurry than watch you donate your voice to rooms that monetize it and muffle it at the same time. And maybe that's you fuming at the delay, questioning your worth. Hear me. The fact that you're frustrated doesn't mean you're failing. It may mean you're being guarded. Frustration can be the sound of chains that never got to close. You prayed for purpose, so I protected it. You asked for purity, so I preserved it. You wanted peace, so I posted angels at thresholds your impatience would have crossed. I kept your oil unstored in corrupt containers. I kept your sleep from being colonized by anxiety. I kept your name from being rented by agendas you don't even agree with. You're not weak for being rerouted. You're wise by obedience. It wasn't rejection. It was redirection away from an invoice you couldn't afford. I am the one who counts cost before you count clicks. I am the one who sees beyond the ribbon cutting into the back room where compromise signs contracts. Trust this, my delay was mercy with a mission. The yes you wanted carried a cost you couldn't afford, and I loved you too much to let you buy it with your peace, your purity, your purpose, and your identity. Listen to me. The culture worships speed. Heaven honors alignment. And the world says, if it moves, chase it. If it opens, take it. If it's hot, hurry. But I am not impressed with your sprint if it breaks your spine. I am not clapping for velocity that vandalizes your values. I have a word that cuts across your calendar. No, not because I am cruel, but because I am committed to your becoming. Not because I'm stingy, but because I am safeguarding the version of you I'm raising. Hear the rhythm and let it rewire you. It wasn't rejection. It was redirection. It wasn't closed. It was covered. It wasn't me withholding love. It was love holding you. My no is love in its most confrontational form. I will not finance your self-sabotage, even if your intentions are sincere. I will not anoint a strategy built by panic. I will not co-sign a loan against your peace so you can purchase public approval. Your hunger is honest, but if your root is reckless, I will reroute you. Your motives may be pure, but if the method mortgages your identity, I will interrupt you. I am too faithful to let you win in ways that warp your soul. Think about it. Would you hand a child a knife just because they begged with tears? Then don't call me cruel because I refuse to hand you what would have harmed you. Some people are a door. Access to them is access to confusion. Conversation with them is consent to compromise. Chemistry with them is a covenant with chaos. And you asked me for them. You fasted for their yes. You wrote their name in your journal and called it destiny. But I saw the cost, how your boundaries would bend, how your voice would soften into silence, how your convictions would be negotiated in the name of keeping the peace. So I blocked the connection. I let the text go unread. I tangled the timing. I dried up the flirtation. I made the meeting mysteriously fall through, not to embarrass you, but to preserve you. You think you lost a soulmate. I know I saved a mantle. You think you missed community. I know I guarded consecration. Listen, alignment over acceleration, presence over platform, assignment over access. Do not crown your cravings as your compass, and then blame me when I remove their throne. Don't call me stubborn because I won't bless what would bury you. Don't call me distant because I shut what dazzled you. Learn my language. A door I deadbolt is a destiny I defend. Thank me for the locks. Consecration comes with keys, and I don't hand them to every lobby that applauds you. So here is your coaching. Stop campaigning for a yes I already crucified. Stop sulking at a threshold that would have traded your oil for attention. Stand up. Wipe your face. Bless my no. Let it make you spiritually bulletproof to flattery, urgency, and counterfeit favor. My refusal is your refuge. My restraint is your rescue. It wasn't rejection. It was redirection. It wasn't closed. It was covered. And when the right door is ready, you won't have to beg, bend, or betray who I'm building. You'll walk through with peace as your escort and purpose intact. Ask Joseph. And the world says, prison is proof you failed. but heaven might just be whispering, positioning in disguise. Listen to me. Joseph wasn't locked away because I forgot him. He was held because I was staging him. Seconds from a wrong door, he chose purity over promotion. Potiphar's house looked like favor, and the bed looked like fast-track influence. That was the door that gleamed right and lived wrong. Had he taken it, he would have inherited access and lost authority. He would have learned how to perform for rooms he could not lead. Prison wasn't punishment, it was pressure that preserved his interpretive gift from being prostituted by flattery. I delayed his public yes until his private integrity could carry national famine without famishing his soul. Hear it. I don't promote what hasn't been prepared. Ask Moses. The world says, if you've got the pedigree, push the plan. But heaven says, if I'm making a deliverer, I'll first deliver him from hurry. Moses tried to kick down destiny with his own hands. Anger as the doorman, impulse as the usher. Wrong door, wrong way, wrong time. So I sent him to the wilderness, and the critics labeled it wasted. 40 years of quiet looked like a demotion. It was a doctorate in meekness. Staff training, sheep tending, desert listening, this was not exile. This was exactness. I was teaching him to trade sword for staff, reaction for reliance, impulse for instruction. Why? Because what he would face, Pharaoh's pride, a sea that scoffs, a people that panic, would crush a man still addicted to speed. I held back the platform until the man could survive it without losing his face to frustration or his worship to weariness. Delay became deliverance school. Ask Esther. The world says she was just pretty and placed. Heaven says she was hidden and prepared. Her crowns were not instant. They were incubated. Spa days, oil days, silent days. Beneath the cosmetics was consecration. She learned the language of timing. Seconds from the wrong door, self-preservation, political safety, a quiet that would keep her comfortable and kill her people. She waited for my cue. Not every scepter is safe at every second. I tuned her courage so it would sing on the day appointed, not the day assumed. She didn't rush the room. She rehearsed obedience. And when she stepped in, it wasn't for applause. It was for assignment. Hiddenness wasn't silence. It was strategy with a soul at stake. Do you see the pattern? I delay what I love when speed would sabotage it. I withhold visibility to build vision. I slow the feet to strengthen the spine. I cage the calendar to crown the character. And maybe that's you, kept back because your future is heavy. You're not benched. You're being built. You're not sidelined. You're being sighted in like an arrow drawn backward to fly farther. Don't mistake my restraint for rejection. It is redirection into readiness. When I open the door, it won't demand a version of you I never authored. It will require exactly who I've been forming, integrity like Joseph, meekness like Moses, timing like Esther. Trust the pattern. Trust the pacing. Trust the preparation. I do not promote what I have not prepared, and I am preparing you. Listen to me. The door that dazzled you was dressed like blessing but engineered like a snare. This is where survival requires discernment. And the world says, don't overthink it, jump. But heaven whispers, slow saves lives. Discernment is not paranoia, it is precision. It is not suspicion, it is spiritual intelligence. It isn't cynicism, it is consecrated perception. It is the grace to tell honey from a sedative, favor from flattery, timing from temptation. Discernment does not make you cold, it makes you clear, and clarity is armor in a hallway of counterfeits. Why are you targeted with almost right options? Because hell studies your hunger. The enemy doesn't need you to rebel, he just needs you to rush. Hear the pattern and write it on your ribs. If he can't stop you, he'll speed you. If he can't break you, he'll bait you. If he can't curse you, he'll clutter you. He'll overload your calendar so you undernourish your soul. He'll hand you platforms that applaud you while hollowing your core. He'll serve you yeses that require tiny edits to your integrity, one compromise at a time, until your voice no longer recognizes your own sound. Some doors carry fingerprints. 3 classics: flattery, urgency, and confusion. Flattery feeds your ache for approval until you confuse adoration with assignment. It sings to your insecurity and calls it love. Urgency compresses time until you treat pressure like prophecy. It screams, now or never, so you stop asking me, is this mine? Confusion fogs your peace and calls it mystery, so you trade discernment for drama. Listen to me. My peace is not passive, it is a verdict. When I author a door, peace doesn't vanish under pressure. It stands like a sentinel in your chest. When a threshold is from me, you may feel holy awe, but you won't feel identity erosion. This is why I delayed you. The wait was heaven pulling the room lights up, so you could see the wires on the miracle. Time is a solvent. It melts the glue of manipulation. Time lets praise reveal whether it matures into partnership or mutates into control. Time exposes fruit versus fireworks. Your emotions would have married the moment. The delay let you meet the motives. You're not hard to love. You're hard to deceive. That's what consecration does. It upgrades your yes into something con men can't afford. So practice the drill. When a door appears, don't sprint, survey. Test spirits, not just vibes. Weigh the ask against your assignment. Look for the fingerprints. Flattery that fattens your ego. Urgency that suffocates your wisdom. Confusion that mutes your compass. Ask, does this door require a costume, or will it honor the character I've been forged in? If peace is taxed, it's not me. If identity must be edited, it's not yours. If speed is the only confirmation, step back. I slowed you so the snare could confess itself. I padded the seconds so your sight could catch up with your longing. Trust this, the delay was heaven giving you time to see what your emotions would have missed. Hold your pace. Guard your oil. Let discernment do what hype never will. Keep you alive to your calling and immune to pretty traps. Listen to me. The delay didn't just keep you out. It kept some things in, and the world says, you're being benched. But heaven is whispering, you're being bottled. I wasn't wasting your time. I was guarding your treasure, oil, peace, identity, name, future. The clock wasn't cruel, it was a vault. Not punishment, preservation, not overlooked. You were insulated. First, your oil. I refused to pour fresh oil into cracked character and compromised environments. You prayed for more, but I had to mend the vessel. I slowed you so the hairline fractures, hurry, people-pleasing, hidden pride could seal under the heat of consecration. I kept you out of rooms that value your gift but vandalize your soul. I shielded you from circles where gossip, jealousy, and fake love drink anointing like water. I would not let your oil be rented by atmospheres allergic to holiness. I gave you time to detox your appetites, to prune platforms that feed your insecurity, to relearn that oil flows where altars stand, not where algorithms spike. And maybe that's you, feeling empty because nothing poured out. Hear me. Emptiness can be evidence that I refused to waste oil on leaky alliances. Then your peace. I posted a garrison around your nervous system. I protected your sleep from the colonization of chaos. I barred entry to deadlines dressed as destiny and to conversations that sound like chemistry but spin like tornadoes. I wouldn't let you trade Sabbath for spotlight. I wouldn't let your mornings become crime scenes of comparison. My delay rerouted you from workplaces where adrenaline masquerades as excellence and burnout gets branded as loyalty. I quieted the noise so you could hear the verdict in your chest. My peace, not passive. but a warrior with a sword, slicing through swarm and static. When I author a door, peace doesn't bow to pressure. Delay was me, training you to recognize peace as confirmation and panic as a counterfeit prophet. Your identity and your name, guarded. I hid you from photographs that would have become proof of partnerships I never permitted. I let DMs die in drafts. I kept your name off agendas that use you as seasoning while devouring your substance. I preserved your voice from edits that make you palatable but powerless. And the world says, no one's calling you. But heaven says, I'm calling you by your real name, and I refuse to let you answer to an alias. You thought you were being overlooked. You were being insulated from brand worship, from scandal bait, from narratives that would have cast you as a character in a story that buries your conviction. Your name is not a coupon code. It's a covenant. I will not allow it to be pawned for momentary applause. Your future, defended from regret. I watched where shortcuts lead. Budgets that buy attention by mortgaging tomorrow. Yeses that feel like wings and land like weights. Partnerships that start as synergy and end as spiritual custody battles. I stood between you and the invoice. I moved chairs in meetings you never knew existed. I shut mouths that planned to praise you publicly and price you privately. I reassigned angels to hallways your hunger would have hurried down. Preservation isn't passive. It's strategy with steel in its spine. While you were calling it silence, I was building you a hedge. Dead ends that were actually detours. Slow lanes that were actually sanctuaries. Empty calendars that were actually consecrated classrooms. Listen. What you prayed for requires what I protected. You asked for weight. I preserved your core. You asked for reach. I guarded your roots. You asked for doors. I kept your oil, your peace, and your identity intact, so you could carry the answer without it crushing you. Don't curse the vault I built around you. Steward it. Guard your oil from casual hands. Defend your peace like property. Wear your name with holy caution. And know this, when the right door swings, you won't have to bleed to belong. You will walk in carrying what the weight preserved. Oil that doesn't dilute under pressure, peace that doesn't panic in public, and an identity so clear it makes counterfeits confess. Listen to me. The quiet you're standing in is not abandonment. It's an invitation, not loneliness, leadership training. And the world says, he's ignoring you. But heaven is whispering, I'm inducting you. I dimmed the room, not to punish you, but to sharpen you. I muted the crowd so you could tell the difference between cravings and calling, between applause and assignment, between pressure and my presence. Silence is not empty. It is an envelope with your instructions sealed inside. Open it slowly. Read it with your spirit. I am teaching you to recognize my voice above the volume of your need. He doesn't define value by how many people follow you. I define it by how closely you follow me. So I am simplifying your ecosystem. Fewer rooms, fewer voices, fewer pings, so you can hear the whisper that maps your way. Why do I whisper? Because whispers require closeness. I am not far. I am near enough to breathe blueprints. Come closer and you will realize the delay has a desk in it. This is not a hallway. It is a holy classroom. Stop calling it silence. Call it a syllabus. While they chase attention, you're learning alignment. While they perform, you're being formed. While they perfect their image, you're protecting your oil. While they pursue crowds, you're cultivating consecration. While they sprint to be seen, you're training to see. And someone will say, poor thing benched. Heaven says, blessed one, briefed. You're not forgotten, you're fortified, you're not stuck, you're stationed. Here is how to posture your spirit in this secret place. Pray like a listener, not just a lobbyist. Bring me questions that end in a comma, not a period. What are you highlighting? Where is your peace? What am I to release? Then wait. Breathe. Let the hurry bleed out of you. Journal what repeats. Phrases, scriptures, adjacent impressions, names, nudges. Patterns are often providence in disguise. Test spirits, not just vibes. Hold every opportunity up against assignment, character, and cost. Watch for the triad I use to confirm: peace, consistency, clarity. Peace that stands guard when pressure surges. Consistency that endures beyond a moment's mood. Clarity that honors your consecration instead of asking you to costume it. If it only makes sense when you're starving for validation, it's not me. If it evaporates when you slow down to pray, it's not yours. Let my whispers retrain your reflexes. I will teach you to move from unction, not from urgency, from conviction, not from compliments, from counsel, not from chaos. Compare what you hear with who I'm making you. I don't guide by gimmick, I guide by my nature. I don't hurry holiness, I harvest it. So steward the secret place. Set hours that are altars. Fast the noise that fattens your fear. Read back your journal like a map and circle the coordinates that keep returning. Ask for the second witness. Practice small obediences, the text you don't send, the yes you don't spend, the Sabbath you guard like treasure. Micro-obedience makes you spiritually bulletproof to macro-deception. The delay is where I turn relationship into a compass. You won't need a crowd to confirm what closeness already told you. You'll know the right door because my peace will escort you to it, and your identity will remain intact on the other side. Until then, meet me in the quiet. Let silence become instruction. Let intimacy become guidance. Walk by the whisper, and you will never be rushed into a snare again. Listen to me. Slow was not an oversight. It was an operating room. And the world says, speed proves you're special. But heaven is whispering, stability proves you're stewarded. I move slowly when I'm building something that must survive pressure. Skyscrapers don't sprint upward. They go downward first. Roots before branches, foundations before floors. If I handed you the height you hunger for without the depth you need, the first wind of criticism would turn triumph into collapse. I am not late. I am load testing you. I am not stalling. I am strengthening. This is developmental mercy. Quick doors expose unhealed places. Fast fame forces fractures to the surface where wolves can weaponize them. A rapid yes will rent your gifting before your identity learns how to pay attention. So I slowed you to fortify the floorboards of your soul, your boundaries, your beliefs, your reflexes. Delay became a sealant, curing what grief had cracked and what flattery would have exploited. I love you too much to promote you beyond your healing. I'd rather you feel momentary frustration than live permanent fragmentation. There is a triad I'm forging in you that crowds can't teach. Humility, discipline, and discernment. Humility keeps your head low while favor lifts your life. So praise doesn't swell you and criticism doesn't shatter you. Discipline builds a spine under your schedule, so you can say no without guilt, rest without apology, and show up when zeal cools. Discernment sharpens your sight, so you can tell covenant from convenience, assignment from attention, holy urgency from manipulative rush. Crowds applaud results. They cannot impart these roots. I teach them in slow rooms where applause can't distract you and comparison can't corrode you. I am making you spiritually bulletproof. Not to make you hard, but to make you holy under fire. So offense won't recruit you, so scarcity won't seduce you, so opportunity won't own you. I am running drills, pressure drills, patience drills, purity drills, until your peace does not panic, your no doesn't need permission, and your yes is too expensive for counterfeit currency. I'm armoring your conscience. I'm calibrating your courage. I'm training your tongue to bless when baited, and your hands to war without wounding your witness. I see the temptation to force the timeline, to stitch a door out of deadlines, to settle for the next warm shoulder, the next shiny contract, the next stage that will finally make the ache shut up. And the world says, create your own door, but heaven says, consecrate your own life. If you microwave a promise, you will eat undercooked destiny and call it dinner. If you accept a counterfeit just to silence delay, delay will come back wearing regret. Don't treat impatience like a mentor. Don't crown craving as your compass. Don't confuse movement with maturation. Hear me clearly. You're not behind. You're being built to last. I am growing your character to carry what you're asking for, your capacity to endure the weight of what's waiting, and your consecration to keep it clean when it comes. Slow is not a scandal. It's a sanctuary. Keep pace with me. Keep your altar hot and your calendar honest. When the right door opens, pressure will not crush you, applause will not addict you, and warfare will not warp you. The slowness was strategy. The slowness was safety. The slowness was me making sure you don't just arrive, you remain. Listen to me. Waiting is not you doing nothing. Waiting is you doing the right things so the wrong door can't draft you. While the world says, any door is better than the hallway, heaven is whispering, guard the hallway and you'll miss the trap. So here is your wartime checklist while we hold this position. Don't negotiate your boundaries to buy belonging. Don't romanticize old doors that were actually cages with chandeliers. Don't chase what I haven't confirmed just because silence feels like starvation. If you have to contort to keep it, you'll have to compromise to carry it. Refuse it. Renounce what weakens you. Don't trade being chosen for being popular. Don't sacrifice oil for applause. Don't rush just to prove you're okay. Don't post a miracle to get it to happen faster. Don't call panic faith because it's loud. Close the campaign for a yes I never authored. Lay it down like an idol and watch your breathing return. Now replace anxiety behaviors with obedience behaviors. Serve where you are. Excellence is warfare. Clean the corner I gave you. Encourage the team you already have. Do the unseen right thing until right things can trust you. Steward what you have. Money like it's mission, time like it's holy, body like it's borrowed. Put your schedule on an altar. Trim the rush that robs your roots. Learn what you need. Study the craft. Sharpen the skill. Read what your future will require. Practice until muscle memory protects you under pressure. Ask for counsel you don't flatter. Then forgive what's tethering you. Offense is a leash that drags you back to doors that hurt you. Release the names. Bless them out loud. Let forgiveness cut the cord so your feet stop circling a house I already evacuated you from. Practice discernment like a soldier, not a shopper. Watch fruit over frequency. What repeats over months matters more than what excites in a moment. Consistency over charisma. Faithfulness at 6 a.m. beats fireworks at 6 p.m. Character over chemistry. Charm without covenant is a costume. Test spirits, not just vibes. Where peace stands guard, proceed. Where peace is taxed, pause. Urgency is not confirmation. Clarity is. Flattery is not favor. Fruit is. Mystery is not confusion. Confusion is. Keep your altar hot. Sabbath like its strategy. Fast the noises that train your fear. Tithe your attention to my presence before you tithe your opinions to people. Journal what I keep repeating and obey in small ways. The text you delete, the meeting you decline, the rest you defend. Micro-obedience will keep you spiritually bulletproof to macro-deception. Hear me. The right door will not need manipulation. It won't demand a costume or a discount on your convictions. It will walk in with clarity in its eyes and peace at its side. Until then, hold your post. Serve, steward, study, forgive. Choose fruit over frequency, consistency over charisma, character over chemistry. Waiting like this is not delay, it is defense. It is obedience that protects your destiny until peace escorts you to the door with your name on it. Listen to me. There was a moment you didn't see, seconds from a door that sparkled like destiny and hissed like a snare, and I stepped between you and the impact. You felt the jolt but not the wreck. You saw the pause but not the pit. And the world says, "What terrible timing." But heaven is whispering, "That was me interrupting an ambush." Some of your greatest miracles looked like interruptions because they were rescues. Remember the montage? The car that didn't start, the email that didn't send, the text that wouldn't deliver, the person who didn't reply, the babysitter who canceled, the flight that delayed, the meeting that moved, the door that wouldn't badge, the app that crashed, the deal that fell through. You called it bad luck. You called it a pattern of pushback. You blamed yourself for not being enough, fast enough, loud enough, perfect enough. Heaven called it covering. I clogged an inbox to unclog your spirit. I locked a calendar so your peace wouldn't be evicted. I rerouted a commute to reroute a covenant. I shut a mouth that would have kissed you with contracts and cuffed you with clauses. You weren't being punished. You were being protected. Hear me. Some delays are strategic warfare. The enemy wanted you rushed and cornered, negotiating on a battlefield he built, under lighting he controls, with terms that drain your anointing one concession at a time. I refuse to let hell choose the terrain. I refuse to let panic be the referee. I changed the coordinates. I pulled the plug on the presentation. I let a signature stall so your soul wouldn't be sold by a smiling salesperson called hurry. I made patience your shield and confusion confess itself under the weight of time. When I step between you and disaster, it feels like closed tabs and missed trains and not this time. That is not failure. That is fortress. Do you see it now? The late approval that kept you from a partnership wired to siphon your peace. The closed message that spared you from rekindling a flame that burns identity for warmth. The declined card that blocked an impulse you would have financed with future regret. The no that dismantled an idol you built out of someone's applause. And maybe that's you, still shaking your head at all the interruptions, calling them proof that you're fragile or forgotten. Listen to me. You're not fragile. You're favored. You're not forgotten. You're fortified. You're not benched. You're barricaded by mercy. I did not slow you to shame you. I slowed you to save you. And the world says, if it was meant to be, it would be easy. But heaven says, if it's meant by me, it will be holy. Holy doesn't always feel smooth. Sometimes it feels like slammed brakes 2 feet before the cliff. My no was a net. My wait was a wall. My interruption was intervention. I am not merely managing your minutes. I am shielding your mission. I am not merely editing your plans. I am escorting your purpose. Some of the sirens you never heard were silenced because I stepped in first. So lift your head, change your language. Stop calling rescue ruin. Bless the delays that kept you delivered. Thank the unread messages that guarded your mind. Honor the closed door that kept your oil undefiled. When you feel the itch to force away, remember the hallway where I caught you by the collar and loved you too fiercely to let you walk into pretty danger. I am not against you. I am between you and what would have unmade you. And when the right door appears, it will not need a crash or a crisis to confirm it. Peace will walk you through. Until then, trust the interruptions. They're wearing my fingerprints. Listen to me. When the right door opens, it will not confuse you. It will confirm you. Peace won't whisper and wander off. It will take your hand and walk you through. You won't need to contort into a costume to qualify. You won't feel holy truth go dim just to keep access bright. Alignment will meet you at the threshold. Convictions intact, conscience clean, clarity without chaos. Growth will stand there too, but not as a bribe to betray yourself. Growth without compromise, favor without fracture, responsibility without robbery of your rest. And the world says, if you're not a little unsure, you're not dreaming big enough. But heaven is whispering, if I authored it, I anchor it. The right door bears my handwriting, peace that doesn't panic under pressure, clarity that doesn't need a crowd to clap for it, timing that doesn't bully you, boundaries that are honored, not negotiated away to keep the room comfortable. The right door will not demand that you mute convictions to maintain connection. It won't ask you to hide holiness to hold on to hype. It won't make you perform to be kept. If you must shrink to fit, it's not fit for you. If you must sin to stay, it's not yours. If you must break your own heart to break into it, you're standing at a snare, not ascending. Here is how you'll know. Peace will remain when the pressure test hits. Emails, expectations, eyes. Clarity will repeat itself across days, not just dance through a single euphoric moment. Counsel you don't flatter will nod in witness. Boundaries will feel like guardrails, not gags. Your prayer life won't thin, it will thicken. Your sleep won't be stolen, it will be stewarded. You will feel stretched, yes, but not split. Challenged, yes, but not coerced. There will be cost, but not corruption. Sacrifice, but not self-abandonment. When I open a door, it won't mug your identity in the hallway. Do not fear that I'm teasing you. I am timing you. Blessing and readiness must meet. Grace and structure, oil and order, calling and character. I am not dangling a promise like bait over your hunger. I am maturing you so you can marry it without divorcing your peace. Your clock calls it late. My wisdom calls it aligned. Your feelings call it distance. My faithfulness calls it design. You're not missing your moment. I am making your moment meet the version of you that won't misuse it. So when it swings, don't sprint through fear. Walk through faith. Faith does not flail, it follows. Faith doesn't audition, it abides. Step the way we trained in the quiet. Measured, clear, unhurried by applause, unmoved by intimidation. Let peace be your usher and character be your credential. You won't need to beg rooms to believe you. The assignment will recognize you. You won't arrive damaged, apologizing for the dents of compromise. You will arrive delivered. Oil intact, name guarded, peace enthroned. And when you stand on the other side, you'll know. This door did not demand a discount on your destiny. It honored who I'm making you. Listen to me. Stop cursing the clock. Wipe your tears. Unclench the fist you've wrapped around your own timeline. And the world says, make something happen by Friday. But heaven is whispering, trust the covering that kept you from the wrong door. Release the obsession with when, and bless the wisdom of why. Refuse the counterfeit exits, the shiny shortcuts, the flattery-flavored detours, the warm rooms that cost your worship. Hell loves a hurried heart. I'm disciplining your pace. Stand still where I stationed you and let mercy finish its rescue. You have permission. You don't have to explain this season to spectators who only respect speed. You don't have to rush your healing to match a feed that edits pain into highlight reels. You don't have to compete with someone else's pace to prove you're called. You are not in a race with their reel. You are in covenant with my rhythm. So breathe. Bless the slower story. Guard your oil like royalty. Protect your peace like property. Wear your name like a covenant, not a coupon. You're not ignored. You're insulated. You're not alone. You're anointed. Hear the verdict and rehearse it until the reflex of hurry breaks. You're not delayed. You're defended. You're not stuck. You're being steered. You're not punished. You're protected. You're not lost. You're led. You're not benched. You're briefed. You're not fragile. You're fortified. Say it out loud until panic loses jurisdiction. Let the cadence become your cover, defended, steered, protected. When the ache to accelerate rises, answer it with truth. My pace is a prophecy. My patience is warfare. My peace is a witness. Now move in holy response. Pray for discernment. Ask me to sharpen your sight until manipulation looks dull. Ask for alignment. Order my steps, arrange my days, harmonize my desires with your design. Commit to secret place consistency. Set your altar hours and keep them like oxygen. Journal what repeats. Fast the noise that fattens fear. Seek counsel you don't flatter and submit opportunities to peace, not pressure. Walk your micro-obediences. The text you don't send, the meeting you decline, the rest you defend. The tithe of attention you bring me before you spend it on people. Watch for peace-led doors, clarity that survives a week, boundaries that feel like guardrails, timing that doesn't bully, responsibility that doesn't rob your rest. I am with you in this hallway. You are not waiting with emptiness. You are waiting with me, the one who sees the whole corridor, the hidden rooms, the trapdoors painted pretty, the true threshold with your name etched in grace. I'm not teasing you, I'm timing you. I'm not testing your worth, I'm training your walk. So lift your head, chosen one. Trust the delay. My mercy is the hand on your chest, keeping you from the wrong door, guiding you to the right one. Walk with me, and when it's time, peace will not just point. You and I will pass through together.